All right, guys, what's up? It's Snugs, and today we are doing some POE1 action. We are doing the Pilfering Divination box boss farm that drops thousands of divination cards. I've been doing it for weeks now. It's an amazing farm. I've made mirrors off doing this, combined total, obviously. And it's been a great time. I'm going to go over the scarabs and the idols and a little bit of the strategy and what I've decided to do and what some other options are, all that fun stuff. But it's been a ton of fun to drop, House of Mirrors and Unrequited Love. Spoiler alert, I've dropped all the divination cards. The only one that I am missing is Unrequited or Fire of an Unknown Origin, which is the Nimbus card. That's the last one I have to drop. So hopefully we get that in these 50 runs. Just a quick disclaimer, you do need a boss killing kind of decent build for this. The boss becomes ultra tanky, does a ton of damage. I'm choosing to do this on a toll because the boss is pretty easy on a toll. You can dodge most of his stuff because he shoots a few bubbles on it, and then he does an Ice Nova every now and then. Other than that, he just kind of sits there. So I like a toll for this. I am doing it with 8 mod maps, but we're going to get into all of that fun stuff right now. All right, these are the cards that we are after. I have dropped all of them except for this bad boy right here, Fire of Unknown Origin, the Nimbus card. For whatever reason, that one eludes me. But, I mean, as you can see, drops can be in the hundreds of divines. Cards always drop at least in a stack of 4. And so if you drop 1 House of Mirrors, it's going to be 4 House of Mirrors, so on and so forth. I've hit House of Mirrors twice, Father's Love once, Unrequited Love twice, Apothecary 3 times, Immortal twice, Price of Devotion once, Choking Guilt once, haven't hit Fire. And then I've hit all the others several times because they do, for the most part, get a little more common. 7 Years Bad Luck, I hit these all the time. I finish Mirror Shards from this all the time. And so Cheater's a great one. Those are going for, I think, 10 divines a card right now. So if you drop one of those, that's 40 divines right there. Anyway, you get the idea. Tons of good stuff to drop. You can drop any card in the game. Strong boxes do not care about scrying or area or anything like that. So besides the Void card, which only comes from T17, you can drop every divination card in the game. All right, let's go over the idols. Mine are pretty nice. You don't have to have idols as nice as I have. And I will go over kind of an alternate idol here as well, and it changes the strategy just slightly, but I wanted to at least talk about it because people have differing opinions on this. For my 1 4x4, I have explicit modifiers per explicit modifier, 2% explicit effect if explicit modifiers per explicit modifier, 2 additional strongboxes. Strongboxes in their map are corrupted, and strongboxes are at least rare. That is a really nice idol. I can't remember how much I bought this for. I tried to craft this, and I just couldn't hit it, and it was the only one available, so I think I paid like 300 divines for this. Again, all you really need on this idol is corrupted and rare. The last 2 lines, which I think go for like 7 div at this point, something like that. They're not terribly expensive. Then your 1x3 is going to be currency items from strongboxes in your maps are duplicated, and divination cards from your strongboxes in your maps are duplicated. Honestly, you could literally get away with that last line, divination cards are duplicated, alone. You could literally just do that on this idol if you wanted and get some other mods if you want to go budget. However, again, this is a quad. It's really nice. Again, you don't need idols that good. Then all of my small idols are going to have that last line right there. Strongboxes in your map have a % chance to become a diviner strongbox. And they're all like that. I don't even really have... Also, fun fact, this trade was from Divination Cards. It was from one of the... see if I actually have it right now. Two implicit corrupted item. So sometimes you'll hit some, 5, 10, 20, 50 divine corruptions off that card. Yeah, my filter, I am using a streamer called Everything. I'll put the link in the description. I'm using his filter. It's been really good for this. It is not picky enough for Rogue Exiles. Me and my duo do Rogue Exiles as well. It is not picky enough for that, but for divination card farming and kind of more like chill farming, I am going to do some Uber Shaper runs at some point. Try and get after a whatever the hell that jewel is, Sublime Vision. Anyway, yeah, so the idols, the biggest thing is strongboxes are corrupted and at least rare on the 4x4, and then on 1x3, divination cards are duplicated. Currency is nice because you do drop divines here and there that get duped. Again, you don't need that. Really, that bottom line, the divination cards duplicated is the big one, and then just diviner chance everywhere. Now, the thing about this strat is all I do is run through the map, click on boxes. I kind of even sometimes ignore slightly non-divination card boxes. And then I run to the boss with a bunch of headhunter stacks and I kill the boss. What you can do is if you want to optimize your investment versus return is you can swap your 4x4 idol out here for strong boxes opened, have more openable chance. Strong boxes are at least rare, and then 2 additional strong boxes. Again, at least rare is really the only thing that you need here. This is a pretty expensive one. This is about 100 divine idol. I was just doing testing with this one. And what you do is you Scroll of Wisdom the rare strongbox, right? You Scroll of Wisdom it, and then you Chaos Orb till you get like quantity or additional cards or currency cards or something like that. And you hit it a few times, and boom, there you go. However, it makes the run take about twice as long. It does increase the card count that you get on the boss, but what I have found is that I can drop more cards by doing it with just the corrupted, rare 4x4. Because I average in between 800 to 2,200 cards. I know that's kind of a big spread, but I average a huge amount of cards just doing it this way, and runs are in between 2 and 4 minutes, versus when I do it this way, runs are 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. Maybe a little bit faster if I'm really hustling. But I prefer it this way. So if you're dropping 500 cards more on average this way than you are this way, the math doesn't add up because I can get runs done twice as fast, but I'm not getting twice as many cards. You see what I'm saying? Oh my fuck. Okay, fine. I'll give you the shit. And then he disbands. What a fucker. Dude, I hate that so much. Don't spam, guys. Then again, I didn't really reply. Anyway, let's go over the scarabs. You're going to obviously have Pilfering. This is what makes the map boss way harder. Takes all the divination cards in the map and sticks them on top of the boss, but then they get duplicated. So your divination cards are getting duplicated here. Then those 2 are getting double duped again, so you end up with 4 cards. That's how you end up with always a minimum stack of 4. Hidden compartments just gives you a little bit more open chance. Ambush, Scarab, and Containment. This is what makes this all work. This and the Pilfering. These are non-negotiable. This is about at 1.8 divines per. Is what I bought them at. Many additional strong boxes, and all your mobs are inside the strong box. It's basically all that is. Strongbox is an area more likely to be rare variety. This goes coincide with the diviner strongbox chance. Just helps you get more diviners. These are, I think, about 10 apiece right now. There were more, actually, earlier. And then 75 increased explicit modifier on strongboxes in area. It just helps you get more quant, things like that on your boxes. But anyway, that is about it. So I'm going to go ahead and do a run. And yeah, let's go. Also, just a quick note, I did buy a completely empty stash tab for divination cards. It will be going into this for the run, so I can calculate really the total. I'm not going to count like less than like 5C cards, though. It's just too much liquidating. Again, there's like an efficiency versus time kind of thing that you got to pay attention to. If I go up to my cards and I go down to my chaotic disposition cards, I have 766 of them. Now, that's a lot of chaos that I've got tucked away if I need chaos, but that's a lot of clicking and a lot of time to get 700 and something chaos. Another thing that you can do is you can literally try to sell them off at Faustus, but it's, yeah, you get the idea. All right, on your map device, I am using Ambush. Pretty obvious why. Get more strong boxes in the map and make sure everything looks right. We got the right idols. I am running Eater for just... It just works out better on this build versus something like Lightning Strike where red altars are better. But anyway, let's go ahead. I haven't played on this computer in a while, so... Okay, loot filter. All right, Lil, take 2. Didn't have loot filter on and game exploded. So we're going to go ahead and go to run 1 now. I'm going to show this entire run, and then the rest will just be the boss kill and the drops at the end. I don't bother with the mirror. There is not really a method or rhyme or reason to this. I just click them and kill them. This This build clears stupidly well. If I get ambush on Headhunter, I almost just always take my belt off and start resetting my stacks because it's so annoying. And if you have ambush, which is the one that teleports you to your enemy, it almost always will kill you on the boss, so it's kind of annoying. But anyway, with basically DCing, I do have the run timer in the bottom right of the screen, so you can check that out and see how long this run is taking me. And I do have a method. What you can do is you can, at the bottom entrance section, click all the boxes that are not diviners and try to get a shrine first. And I will leave a portal. This is my backup stacks for Headhunter if I die on the boss. So now, I'll go ahead and take Headhunter off real quick and reset my stacks because I had ambush there. And hopefully I don't get it back before the boss. Ice Cage for this build is like insane damage. It's like 10 times more damage if we get the ice wall thing. Shout out to Falsteron. This is basically his build. This was my league start, and it has been an incredible league starter. Took some investment to really feel comfy. I can show the gear at the end if you guys want. But it's been a good time. But anyway, we're 2 minutes and 13 seconds into the run. We have not rolled a box. We've got some reopens, and I do, it looks like, have Ice Wall right now. So we're going to run in and kill the boss, and hopefully he drops us some GG. I don't even bother with those. And he's got 1,300 cards on him. I'm going to wait till he does his Nova. He's done with his Nova. Wait for the next wall to come up. And now he dies. And we get 4 Divine Beauties and a Fortunate off the very first run. Roll the montage. Also, a quick note on the 8 mod atolls that I am running. I'm running at least a minimum of 100% quantity. And then I'm trying not to run things like more boss life, more monster life, reduce crit, things like that just make the boss even more ridiculously tanky. Well, guys, I forgot to turn on boss kill for run 4, but there you go. Some Icy Brothers. It's about 22. Two Divines out of an Arcanist box on run 6. Run number 7, another 2 Divines out of an Arcanist. Icy Brothers again. Wow. It's a pretty rare card. Okay. Run 10, little div drop. Means it was from a mob, not a box, technically. All right, so for the people who don't know, if you open your map mod tab over here, it'll actually say how many strong boxes are in the area. Again, my totems, or my idols, vary in between 29 to 42, I think. I know I have never seen higher than 42, I know that. But yeah, just in case you didn't know. I'd like to see you do this with rolling strong boxes. I always get Brother Stash, so that makes me happy. I got like Brother Stash like 4 times in a row lately. Finally gift. Ah, no, no. I had to switch to my Lightning Strike there because he regens so bad. I had to put Frost Bomb to knock off 75% of his life regen. And this is a pretty built Lightning Strike. So that just shows you some of the ridiculous mods that are on these bosses. Oh, that's sick. We got Fortunate, Divine Beauty, Brother's Gift. All we're missing is Sephiroth, and we got all the Divine cards in one go. This is a max roll 42 box map. I think it's the first one I've seen since. There's 3 cards again. 3 Divine cards again. Wait. How did Sephiroth only have 2? Okay, I figured out how it dropped 2. So I had taken a blue altar. That's one of the basic currency, like minion altars. And so it must have dropped one of those cards and then duplicated it from the boss, which is why it's only 2. And that's it. No Mage Blood. Well, we did drop some Mage Blood cards. All right, let's go to the stash and figure out how much we made and how much we lost or whatever. All right, let's go over the results of the 50 runs. Did we make money or did we get our butt taken? So this is our main tab, what I'm calling our main tab. We obviously have a ton more in here. And there's plenty of good stuff in here as well. That's worth many divines. However, that's going to take some time to go through. So for just the initial part of this video, let's go over the main tab. So we dropped 8 Brothers Gifts, which is 40 divines. Our initial investment was 113 divines, by the way. If you include the maps, I didn't include the maps before. I do self-farm the maps. I use a setup, basically a bunch of increased effect, and then, singular focus. Put Deli on a T17. I'll drop, 1 to 2 inventories full of maps, and then I regex that, and then about 80% of those maps go bye-bye. Maybe even more. But these are kind of what the maps look like. I don't take monster health or extra, what's it called? ES is extra. Basically, the boss is already so tanky, I don't take mods that make the boss way more tanky, if that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, we did... That's 40 divines right there. I'm going to pull up a calculator, and we're just going to add up this tab right here. And let's just start turning in some of these cards. We had 5 stacks of Divine Beauties. All right, so that's going to be 20 divine. We had 5 raw divines. So there's 40 divines right there. Let's turn these in. These are the Brothers' Gifts. These are the 5 divine per 1 card. We had 8 of these. So that will be totally 40. We did hit Brothers' Stash. That would have been epic if we got all 3 Brothers' Gift, but I'm not gonna cry about it. We got, let's see, 8, 9, 10, almost 11 stacks of Fortunates. Remember, we have to make up 113 divines to just break even, which Spoiler alert, we're going to blow past that. So we always do. It's pretty damn consistent. So we'll leave those for later. I can combine those with my own cards from previous. I've got plenty of cards in here that I can combine as well from just doing, you know, runs. Not on this video. All right. We do have 4 Mirror Shard cards if I want to sell those off. Looks like they're going for... They're going for about 20 Divines for a stack of 4, so we can add in 20 Divines there. I will hold on to these because I think I do have more Mirror cards, actually, Mirror Shard cards on my other section, so I'm going to hold on to those. Because these are actually one of the cards that it's better to turn in and make the Mirror Shard versus things like Apothecary cards and House of Mirrors, which are actually more expensive than the item itself. Then the reason for that is because you can gamble them, so they actually have a higher value. All right, so that's 100 Divines plus 20, so that's 120. We've already broken... so that's 120 Divines. We've already broken our investment costs, just right there, with just this. Now we've got Fracturing Orbs. And these are like 6 or 7 Divines a piece right now, and I have 8 of them. I do use these, but I'm probably going to sell them off because I'm saving up for a mirror item. So they're going for about 7 Divines a piece. I could sell it for 48 right now. I'm going to ask a little more, though. Go 56 Divines on those. It's 120 plus 56. We're up to 176 Divines. All right, the Headhunter cards, that's maybe 2 Divines. It's not much. We'll add in the plus 2 Divines. Headhunter's super cheap this league in Furcia. Now, these are actually less expensive than Apothecaries because they can kind of be crap. So 6, yeah, 6 is way under. So we'll go 13. I could ask 15, but let's go... Yeah, we'll go 14. So we'll do 56 there. So that's 234 Divines so far. Now, these are expensive. These are, I think, 10 a piece last time I checked. They probably have gone up. 3, 4... Yeah, so they're going for 10. We're going to ask 40 for that. So we're up to 274 Divines. And you know what? I am going to sell these off. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put those in my other stack. Because I think I'm close to finishing Headhunter there. All right. We have 4 Desecrated Virtues. These are a little bit cheaper than the Cheaters, and I don't actually know why. I think it's because it's a bigger stack. The Cheaters only 3 cards, and these are 9, so it's 3 times as many. So 4 for 8. That's way undervalued. You go to 12, 14 if I want to sell fast. But we're going to go to 16 to sell 4 to 1. So we'll add in 16. 290 Divines so far. And then these I usually don't sell. I usually turn these in just to hope for a Gigantor one. Looks like about 150 per. So you could ask 6. We'll go ahead and add it in for the calculation. So we're at 296. But I'm going to go ahead, again, combine those with my other cards, because I may actually have one of those complete somewhere in there. Okay, so that's the big tab. Now, we did get 3 puzzle boxes. We can add in, like, let's say 3 or 4 Divines there. Actually, it's 5 Divines. We'll say 1 Divine, and then we'll say 2 divines. So 5, 1, 2 is 8, plus another 8 divines. So that's 304 divines just on the main page. Then we've got 3 divines right there. And then we've got 14 Citadel maps. A lot of times these do drop corrupted, and these are like one of the cheapest ones, one of the downsides to running a toll. But we'll say they're 40 apiece. You can probably, it's probably 4 to a divine, so 1 divine, 2 divine, 3 divine, 3.5 divine. So we'll say we'll just add in 3 divines. So it's 310 divines just on the main page. Ignore these. These are for my old lightning strike. I just purchased. I got a steal of a deal on this. This is 2 mirrors, but I got it for 1, so I had to snag that up. I don't know if I added in the Valdos, but they're going for about a little over a divine a piece right now. Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and chunk those in. Usually I sell them in bulk, but that's okay. So we'll add that 3 divine in. I can't remember if I already added in 313 divines. I'm going to write that down on my notepad. Okay, so investment was 113 divines, and we pulled out 313 divines. All that stuff will sell. It always sells. That I put on Faustus, by the way. So we already tripled our money just on our main page. And to be honest, guys, this wasn't that lucky. I didn't hit any gigantic cards. I didn't hit any Unrequited Loves or House of Mirrors or Father's Love or any of those gigantic 100-plus div a card ones, which they do drop. So I'm going to go take some time. I'm going to go through the smaller stuff. I'm going to add that in, and I will be right back with the final total. Okay, guys? Be right back. This is the part about this I don't like, boys. Turning in 10,000 cards. Going through some of these. Let's go through the Great Wolf, see if we get lucky here. Spell damage, fire damage, probably not worth much. Maybe a div. These Corrupted Jewels, you get a ton of them doing this. I've sold multiples for 1 divine, 5 divine, 20 divines. If it rolls really well, people really need Corrupted Blood Jewels. And so even if they're not perfect, a lot of times you can demand, you know, a pretty high premium. I do have over 1,700 Scarab cards. I'm not going to go through all of them. I already went through all the Alteration cards and Chaos cards. I'm sure there's multiple divines. You may hit, you know, Catalyzing Scarabs and Wisp Scarabs and Gigantic Scarabs and all sorts of Scarabs that are really good. But I'm just going to skip it. We'll just count it as nothing. As you can see, you hit a lot of enters in this strat. A lot of enters, and there's a lot more to go. All right, quick pro tip. All I do is I don't even check the venters. All I do is type in 39. See if we find any with at least 39 rarity. There's one. 39 reduced rarity. 39 and 30. That's not it. 40 increased rarity. It's got a little bit of minus res. That's probably worth maybe a div, 100C. And now we'll check the 40s. 40 increased rarity, dual res increased mana, a little bit of life, maybe get a div out of that. 40 reduced, 40 increased. Again, maybe about a div out of that. Maybe 100C. These aren't great, but it's like 1,000 venters. You might get 1 G1 or more. So I'll pop these in the div and div tab and see if I can get a div out of them. I doubt it. All right, guys, let's go over the final results. It was a lot of work, so if you enjoyed this content, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. I didn't hit any super GG cards. Those the Insane Cat Corrupted Mageblood's Cats cards are actually worth a lot less than Apothecaries, because if you hit like a 2 flask or something bad, you can't roll it, and you also can't double corrupt it in Alva Temple, stuff like that. So they're worth only closer to about 40 div for 4, about 10 div per, instead of like 40 div per card like Apothecaries are. But anyway, I went through a lot of the stuff. Some of the bubblegum stuff I didn't count. Basically, I tried to go if it was worth like 50C or more, or if I could get bulk for, 120, 100, 200C, then I counted it. Things like blueprints. I got several blueprints that ended up almost at 300C. But anyway, Chaotic Disposition alone, we had 1500C in that. Kinetic Bolt, some of the Transfigured Gems I hit, were in that 80 to 1 div range that were 2123s or 2120s. You get a lot of those gems doing this. I got 3 level 1 Enlightens for 900C. Metamorph Rings, some of those, like the Tamings, those can be really good. You get a really well-rolled Taming, it's worth a couple Divines. You get double Corrupted Asenaths quite often doing this. I hit one that was worth about 2D and one that was worth about 1D. The Corrupting Blood Jewels, the rare jewels, don't sleep on those. I open every single one and look at every single one. Even if you think it may not be that good of a jewel, people need Corrupted Blood Jewels really bad somewhere on their gear. And so people are willing to pay a premium for that. So if you get Corrupted Blood with like crit multi, attack speed crit multi, ES, life, things like that, they can be worth multiple Divines. And I hit multiple of those. So we got about 21 Divines out of about 20 Corrupted Blood Jewels. So really, really good profit there. I hit a Synthesis Ring that actually had a couple good mods on it. Worth 3D. It was like Attributes and ES. There was another one that was posted for 5 Divines on Awakened POE, but it had been sitting for a little bit, so I was thinking maybe closer to 2 or 3 Divines. I got a Damage Over Time Acaulis. That was 2D. Again, 290 in fully revealed blueprints. Despair 2123, 1 Divine. I got a shiny Influenced Aegis. That was pretty cool. It rolled kind of meh, so it was only about 100C. Infinite Pursuit with +2 Order, 1D. Chisels, 2 Divines. Tidebreakers, I got 4 of them. That's about 500C. If you have them in bulk, you can add another like 20C per. They usually sell for about 100C. I got a Lightning Penetration Unnatural Instinct. I might actually keep this for my Kinetic Blast. Because I use this jewel and I think I just have a clean regular one, so I might actually use this. Timeless Jewels, I didn't hit any good ones, but we got 3 Divines in them. 7 League Step, about 425C of those. I think I got 9 of them. You get a ton of those. I've been trying to corrupt them for plus movement speed all league long, and I haven't hit a single one. I got 2 level 3 Enlightens that are uncorrupted. That's one of the divination cards that you can get. Those sell for 3 Divines per. Tornado Shot, I got a 2123 of that, 1 Divine. Scorching Ray, that's kind of a niche one, but I put it in there. 50C. Vol Temples, about 150 C in Vol Temples. Reduced Fire Damage Combs. A lot of these items that I get, I slam to try and get a good implicit on them. You can take a 50C item and turn it into a multiple Divine item a lot of the time if you do that. So I slam a lot of stuff. In about a week, I'll go through about 1,000 Vol Orbs. Good thing they're cheap this league. Contagion of Sub, I can't even remember what that is, but I looked it up as 100C. Replica items, I didn't hit any really good ones. I didn't hit Replica Alberon Warpath or anything. I have hit it before doing this. I think it sold for 15 or 20D for a good roll. Gem Cutters, 1 Divine. 2 Implicit Corrupted Boots, you get a ton of those cards. I hit 2 that were pretty decent, so I got 4 Divines. For that, 100C in Elder Maps and Venters, Gambles. I went through 400 Venters, Gambles cards. They make great dust. I'll give you a pro tip on that in a second. But I only hit 1. That was worth about 1 Divine. If you look at these, if you load your entire dust box with only Venters Gambles, it takes about 3.5 hours to finish that dust. So why is this important? Because if you're playing with a duo, if you've got an Aurabot with you, or you're an Aurabot, and you don't want to be going back and forth to King's March constantly, loading it with all rings and amulets, still really good dust, but you're not sitting there constantly babysitting your dust. Just a pro tip right there. And anyway, let me bring those numbers back up here. Did we get through all of it? Anyway, the final numbers are, if you combined all the chaos, it was about just under 5,000 chaos, which is 29 Divines. I did the calculation at 170 chaos per Divine. That could be a little bit up, a little bit down, but it's somewhere in there. We got 313 Divines from the big tab, the kind of bigger card drops. Again, no super GG card drops, but that just shows you don't need them to make quite a bit of profit. I got 57 Divines in smaller stuff, like Enlightens and things like that. And then minus 113 Divine for investment. That means the total profit is 286 Divines in 3 hours runtime, not including card turn and prep. You could do this calculation at 5 hours, that may be closer to the actual number. But even then, that's still 50, 60 hours, 50, 60 divines an hour without hitting a GG card. Now, also, all this stuff has to sell in order to be worth anything. If it's sitting in your stash and nobody wants to buy it, it's not worth anything. Keep that in mind as well. All right, we'll sell this dude our badge. Also, you need a character that can really map quickly and also that has good AoE and that can really handle bosses. This boss gets absurdly expensive, or not expensive, absurdly fucking tanky. So if you've got a pea-shooting character and you want to do this strat, holy shit, you are in for a rude awakening when you get to that boss and he's got 10 billion hit points, right? Also, I've got very, very nice idols. This is a quad. This is a quad. All these are at least 65% chance to get diviners. Most of them are closer to 68 or 69 or 70. So keep that in mind. It's not cheap to get going for this strat. All you need is the corrupted and rare on this one. You don't need the top 2 mods. And then all on this one you need is Divination cards and strongboxes are duplicated. Then you put together a bunch of cheap diviner. Diviner. It's that last line is the only one that matters. And then you go running. You click boxes, you kill the boss, and you make a lot of money. Obviously, I've invested more into this over time because it has been so profitable. But it is about 2.1 divines per run, so keep that in mind. If you're like, I'm going to try a few runs, you may lose your ass and lose 6.3 divines because sometimes it takes 15, 20 runs to hit a really good card that takes care of the entire cost of the runs. Anyway, I'm done rambling, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. But have an amazing day, guys. Bye-bye.